you kidding me?
Here's a shot to McRae, they score!
McRae shoots, he scores! The high-powered, undefeated Halifax Thunderbirds make their first ever trip to Albany to take on the FireWolves on a cold Saturday night. It's next. Chilly night at MVP Arena, a busy day in the Capital Region. Some ice hockey and now time for some lacrosse. The NLL on ESPN. MVP Arena plays host to the Albany FireWolves and the undefeated Halifax Thunderbirds, both of the Eastern Conference, and this one is pivotal, folks. The first of two meetings between the two teams. Halifax, one of two unbeatens, and Albany is hoping for its second win at home, a 1-1 record coming into tonight. We say hello from the broadcast booth. Brendan Glasheen, he is PLL champion. Andy Towers, great to be joining you tonight. We are in for a treat at the faceoff dot. As if Joe Nardella needed another challenge. He had Trevor Baptiste first, now he's got Jake Withers tonight, Andy, the 2018 NLL Rookie of the Year. Should be fun to watch. What do you know about Withers? What makes him so special?
Well, I think what Jake Withers does so well is he's such a great counterpuncher. He's going against Joe Nardella, who probably has the best primary move off the whistle in the league. But the thing that makes Jake Withers so special is his ability to identify what move his opponent is doing, counter that effectively, and he is just a beast on the ground balls. If anybody has the ability to contest the ground balls like Nard, against Nards, you're going to see it out of Jake Withers tonight.
So you believe, though, Joe Nardella can set tone in this matchup? Nardella leading the league in face-off percentage.
I think Joe Nardella is going to come out and do what he does best, and that's clamp the ball, place the ball, and battle for the 50-50 ground balls that are contested. I think Jake Withers is going to come out looking to counter that, and it's going to be a great chess match, 4 quarters long.
Should be really fun to watch tonight. Coming up next, we'll have face-off between Withers, Nardella, FireWolves, Thunderbirds for the first time this season. Albany looks to knock off undefeated Halifax when we return to the Capital Region.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon? At 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
There's no better feeling than a win, except a BetMGM win. Goodbye. Woo! That one hurt good. You feel that? Yeah! Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Come on.
The NLL on ESPN is brought to you by NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. By Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate believe you will. And by BetMGM, the official sportsbook of the NLL. Get the BetMGM app today. Now you are winning with the king of sportsbooks. Please bet responsibly.
Story through the Every Child Matters movement with the Halifax Thunderbirds. Vera was a huge supporter and fan of lacrosse. She gave her son Kurt the love and support he needed to lead him to the NLL and was always his #1 fan.
She will be remembered dearly by her family, friends, and all who knew her for being strong, resilient, and loving. Her family is her legacy, and she will live on through them. And now, fans, we ask you to please remain standing and remove your caps for the playing of the Canadian National Anthem, O Canada, performed by the Capital Area Flute Club. And now at this time, we ask you please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, the Capital Area Flute Club.
Well, the crowd very excited for tonight's game. FireWolves and Thunderbirds, an Eastern Conference clash. Both teams facing each other for the first time this season. You go back to 2020, March 1st, when the Black Wolves, the former regime in New England, that's when the 2020 season ended. And the Black Wolves at the time got the win 16-10 against Warren Hill, who's in goal tonight for the Halifax Thunderbirds. Coming into tonight, Hill ranking 3rd in the league in save percentage and goals against average, a perfect 3-0 start to the season. Of course, our goaltenders are brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. And on the other side, it is Dougie Jamieson, who has really bounced back, Andy, since that home opener against Rochester. Glenn Clark told us, you're always due for a stinker on the season. he's bounced back nicely.
You know, I think that the defense has gotten a lot more disciplined in the way that they're rotating in front of Dougie Jamieson, and I think that's been part of what's been key to his success. We got a great battle between two of the best goaltenders in the league, as well as two of the best face-off guys in the league. You got the discipline, Halifax offense versus the team that really wants to run on the offensive end for the FireWolves. This looks like this is really going to be an interesting contest here.
Dougie will have to keep his eyes on Austin Shanks. He's downstairs with Ashley Miller.
Hey guys, with Austin Shanks. Austin, no Clark tonight. How do you make up for that on offense? He's got 18 points in 3 games.
We just do it as a team, you know. Our whole offense is as a unit, so other guys step up and we put the ball in the net.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Up to you guys.
Got it.
Thank you, Ashley. Austin Shanks coming off a terrific performance against Toronto 2 weeks ago. 5 goals, 3 assists. Word was made this afternoon, no Clark Peterson tonight. He's on the COVID list for Halifax. And Kyle Jackson, a healthy scratch. So I'm real interested to see how Shanks gets into his flow offensively without 2 of their better players on the offensive end.
You know, anytime you lose somebody that it scores as prolifically as Clark Peterson, you're going to have to find different answers tonight, and they're going to have to probably rely on their offensive scheme a little bit more than they would as individual players to make up for that adjustment.
Tonight's opening face-off is brought to you by BetMGM, the official sports book of the National Lacrosse League. Nardella and Withers, a treat to watch throughout the course of the night. That first loose ball is ripped away by the FireWolves. They want transition. Hill has to rise quickly to dodge over and make any kind of stop. How about Albany not slowing down there and trying to get a quick one?
No, I think they got to push. They got to push transition when they get their opportunities, BG. Their opportunities are going to come off of face-off wins, and they're going to come off the saves from Dougie Jamieson.
First 30 seconds into the game, no score. Connor Watson, his second year in the league, scooped up by Dougie
Got opportunity,
Jamieson.
There it is.
Out the back door! And the FireWolves are on the board. A delayed celebration, they get it to go past Warren Hill. How about Q coming out the door?
Well, they beat him on the sub game right out the front. That was one of the things that Coach Kersey mentioned was a concern for him. And sure enough, the FireWolves made him pay within the framework of their identity as an offense. And that's transition off good saves from Dougie Jamieson. Nardella with a great win in the first one. Controlled the clamp, was able to get possession, and they were able to actually get a good shot, transition off that first win. Let's see if Joe can do it again. Look for Jake Withers to start to straight rake Joe's clamp as an adjustment.
Andrew Q turning into a transition weapon. Much has been made about his ability as a feeder. 4 assists 2 weeks ago against Philadelphia. He's not just that outside threat. That's what folks around the league might just look at Q as a shooter, but he's proving he can be put in certain spots and execute in the flow of the offense.
Well, I think anybody that's going to have success as a scorer in this game is going to have to score in a variety of ways. To be able to do it with time and space, to be able to do it in transition, and to be able to do it within the 2-man game. If you're able to score in a few different ways, you know, those are the guys that are going to have success and put in terms of number production.
Halifax looks to beat Albany at its own game the other way. It was Ryan Tarafinko dashing, a product that the FireWolves were actually looking at in the draft a few years ago. Tarafinko, 2020 second-round pick of Halifax.
Yeah, out of Ohio State, one of the best athletes in the indoor game, one of the best athletes in the outdoor game. You know, his speed, his fearlessness, his overall athleticism is something that is really hard to match.
Joe Resiteritz lost it momentarily. We are 2 minutes into the contest. Albany has already executed on transition. Andrew Q out the back door. Dougie Jamieson igniting that attack. Here are tonight's betting lines on the money line. The FireWolves, an underdog at home against undefeated Halifax. Jamieson low, slow, gliding to his left to make the stop. Downing comes in, fighting for the loose ball. Again, no Peterson, no Jackson tonight for Halifax. They are shorthanded. Nardella comes up with the scoop. Offense comes onto the floor.
You know, I think while the FireWolves want to push transition, the challenge for them is to be disciplined enough to not force it to be there. Obviously, they scored a great goal with Q coming out of the box, but when they don't have it, they've got to make sure that they're getting some depth in their possession so they're not playing defense the whole time.
Albany turnover. Resetaric trying to set up shop on the right side. Joe coming off a 3-goal, 3-assist game. 14 shots in the victory over Philadelphia. Down in the corner, Adam Bomberry. He's been a terrific addition. And when I say addition, I mean back in the lineup, coming off injured reserve. Bomber coming back. Brent Manny, you saw that firsthand in the game against Saskatchewan, which was a win for the FireWolves, 10-5, their first home win in team history.
Yeah, they really looked like they were seamless in the decision-making to push transition. When it was there, they pushed it, and they scored some opportunities, scored on some opportunities when they did that, but they also weren't trying to force it like they seemed to be doing in that second game versus Rochester.
Gillies has it on the doorstep. Dougie stands tall and makes the stop. Gillies had an angle there momentarily, then got plunked from behind and lost the handle. Malcolm's got the loose ball. FireWolves past the timeline, and they get set up. Riley O'Connor, good to see him back in the lineup on the left side. He missed last game in Philly. He was in the COVID protocol.
Yeah, they're going to need him for sure. I do think the strength of this FireWolves offense is, again, guys getting their opportunities within the scheme and the ball not dying in one person's stick.
It's Q dumping underneath and a score.
And that's a perfect example, BG. You see a 4-pass combination where they get the ball on the right side, they throw it up to the center, they throw it down to the lefty pinch. He hits a crease dive cut, finishes low and away. What a shot. Now Charlie Kitchen buried that. Again, you look at the high deception, seeing if they get the goalie to react to where they're looking to, and then try to bring the shot to the opposite part of the goal. You look high, you shoot low, that's shooting with deception. A little different from thinking, which is more with your stick. Deception is more with your body language.
FireWolves staff super excited about the former Delaware Blue Hen, Charlie Kitchen. He played for both Glenn Clark and Clem Durazio, assistant GM, defensive coordinator with the Toronto Beaches Junior A lacrosse. He's a native of Oakville, Ontario. He was drafted by the Black Wolves regime in 2020. Then he got picked up in expansion by Panther City. They loved him so much he was reacquired for a couple of draft picks going forward. And now, tempers flaring. You get the sense here Halifax is trying to set some tone and respond. Down 2-zip. It's Q and Kitchen, the goals for the FireWolves in the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know, it's good for them to respond with a little bit of edginess. You know, certainly it looks like Albany's gotten out to the faster start, playing a little faster. You know, they need something to create a spark here.
Fennell, you'll find Eric Fennell, 43 in the white, kind of hang out in the middle and help create separation. Stephen LeBlanc, his shot missing wide. Now Colton Watkinson, he wants to put on the fast jets here as Watkinson now soars underneath the goal. 2 defenders from the Thunderbirds sandwich him along the boards, create the turnover, and back comes Halifax.
You know, you get the opportunity in transition. A guy like Colton Watkinson has proved how athletic, you know, or how well he uses his athleticism to create scoring opportunities in transition. That time it looked like the numbers were not in their favor. You know, they're really going to have to walk that fine line between knowing when to push the transition and knowing when to pull it out, get their guys on, and try to get an offensive possession.
Nongo Thompson playing some offense, setting the screen, creates a look for Chris Boucher. Boucher had 3 goals at Toronto, signed as a free agent in Calgary to get involved in the league. He was in training camps with Buffalo in 2018, earning a roster spot after being drafted a few years ago, and Halifax has been happy with his performance. We'll take the timeout on the floor as well. 9:32 to go in the first. Albany leads Halifax 2-0 here at MVP Arena. The crowd is loving it. We'll be back.
What's that? I can hear you somewhat. Okay, I have a mask. They told me I didn't have to wear it, but I'll wear it.
Two 2-0 start. Albany FireWolves ahead of the Halifax Thunderbirds. The first of two meetings this season. They'll face off again in Nova Scotia on March 11th. Brendan Glasheen, Andy Towers, Ashley Miller on the floor. It's great to have you with us on a Saturday night, one of 6 games in the National Lacrosse League. Of course, New York is in action on Sunday afternoon. Great disruption on the left side, cut by the righty forward, and Halifax looking to generate something here again without Clark Peterson. Kyle Jackson a healthy scratch. Peterson is in the COVID protocol, so how they get their offense should be interesting. Halifax undefeated 3-0, all 1-goal victories.
Now that's the 4th shot that they've taken to Jameson's low left side. You wonder if that's the scout that they have on him, or if those are where the shots are setting up based on where they're getting them from. Coach Kersey, when we spoke to him this week, was very adamant about getting depth in his possessions. If they're able to make Albany play a lot of defense, the hope is that they're going to be less inspired to want to push transition,
right.
and he feels a little more confidently about being able to defend them in 5-on-5 scenarios.
An absolute rocket from up top, and the FireWolves lead 3-0. Ressa Terrence picking up where he left off in the city of brotherly love 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's feeling it. He's really starting to come into his own. Again, he's proven to be one of the best offensive players in the league, and certainly, one of the lead dogs for the FireWolves. With him and Andrew Q starting to find their rhythm, it's easy to see why they put together, 2 good wins, and they're hoping to get a third here against Halifax tonight.
He was acquired in 2019 from the former Rochester franchise, which is now Halifax. 2022 first-round pick, a 2019 second-rounder. Back in 2018 with Rochester, Ressa Terrence set the NLL single-season record for points by a United States player. 3-0, we're 7 minutes into the opening quarter. Halifax, of course, playing their first game south of the border. Coming to the States, their next 3 are at home. They play a really loaded schedule at home to begin the season. Now, they've been a team that's had to deal with postponements because of COVID.
That's a challenge. When you lose players, it certainly changes the chemistry of the group that's on the floor that night. When you're missing games because of the COVID policy, it really can create a difficult hurdle. They've only played 3 games. You look at the Wings playing as many as 7 games. That's something that they're going to have to find a way to manage.
On the shovel, great transition the other way for the Thunderbirds. They made that look pretty. Colton Armstrong, the finisher on the doorstep.
It's ironic that Coach Kersey had expressed concern about managing the transition of the FireWolves, and the FireWolves have scored tonight in transition. That time it was a great opportunity coming down to the 4-on-3. Albany actually played it pretty well, but to the credit of Halifax, they put together a 3-4 pass combination and end up with a backside dunk.
That is Armstrong's first of the season. Played for the Peterborough Timbermen in Arena Lacrosse League. Undrafted free agent pickup of Rochester, of course, before the move to Halifax. So the Thunderbirds have a score up on the board now, midway through this first quarter.
Yeah, it looked like Joe Nardella jumped right there, and Withers had assumed that he was going to win that, but the ref obviously thought it was both guys, came back, and while Joe actually controlled that one, to the credit of Graham Hossack, he was able to secure the ground ball, and now Halifax is on the offensive end.
Coach Clark told us earlier in the week on Thursday, our defensive positioning against their offense is super important. In that case, like you said, Andy, ironic that Halifax beats Albany at its own game in that sense. The drag out by Jamison, Sorokeni outlets. Nardella gets it to Malcolm. Malcolm, he can snipe from up top. He thinks about it, stomps on the brakes as the offense flows onto the floor. Rested Terrence is the man.
I like that decision to pull it out there, Beachy, especially after a Halifax goal. And in a face-off win, even though Joe Nardella controlled that, Halifax was able to win that face-off. I think you want to make sure that you're managing the game properly based on tempo. If you got the opportunity to push it, you push it. If you don't, you want to make sure that you're playing smart, disciplined, 5-on-5 half-field lacrosse.
So Halifax there tries to go for the quick transition goal. Trevor Smith gets spun around. FireWolves are on top of it now.
An extra guy here.
That's Downing, does a great job. Downing is a fine presence for this lacrosse team. Three-time U.S. men's indoor national team winner. Kick up top to Jacob Rouet, who has had great looks this season. Rouet, most of his shots have been on the goal. He's been finishing, really he did finish well in that game against Philadelphia. Tranny chance now the other way. Hossack.
That's the challenge right there. Graham Hossack coming down, he's got a great opportunity. And again, you score in those situations, you couldn't be happier that you pushed it. If you miss the goal and you're given the opportunity to the other team to go and transition the other way, that's the downside of pushing those decisions. And they're going to have to really look at the circumstances as the game evolves here to decide when to push take those shots and when to pull it out.
It's got to be so hard, too, in this game, as opposed to field lacrosse with your experience, to make that instinctive decision. Do I want to be aggressive here or slow it up? Let's go 5-on-5.
Yeah, I think the size of the goal in the field makes those finishes a little more automatic than they are in the indoor game. And, so if you have an opportunity in a transition or a 1-on-0 in that type of situation, you're going to see the guys in field pull the trigger every single time. In here, depending upon who has the ball and the circumstances of the game, you might not push that.
Nardella has it back, goal line extended, kicks up top now. Little dunk move, moving in quickly. Warren Hill makes the stop, plows that ball to the near board by the Halifax bench. FireWolves get it back after the reset on the shot clock. Hill can now outlet. Next whistle leads to a media break. 3-1 FireWolves in front.
We got a great dodge down the middle of the floor right there. And, it's a little more difficult to hit the shots on the run than it is with time and space. And again, when they go in, you feel great about it. But when they don't go in, you kind of want to get back to using your screens, using your slips, using your on-ball picks to attack the middle of the field to maximize the shooting angle and get your shots off the ball movement.
Thompson's contested shot is brought in by the FireWolves, leads to a break on the floor. Just over 4 minutes to go in the first. Lacrosse back in the Capital Region, and the FireWolves giving the fans something to cheer about on this Saturday night.
Sure.
We're going on this break? We're going on this timeout?
Yeah. Welcome back, joined by Albany FireWolves head coach Glenn Clark. Coach, we talked about transition being an advantage, but you've also scored 5-on-5. How important is it to get to Warren Hill early?
It's really important, and I mean, it's important for our own internal momentum. I mean, it builds confidence. We've got to do a better job shutting down their transition, but I think we've had a good start for sure.
Thank you very much, Coach. Guys, back up to you.
Well, Ashley, there's no question the Q goal really kind of set the tone and really let the guys settle in, which was the case in that win over Saskatchewan. The momentum they couldn't gather against Rochester, so it feels like Glenn Clark, Clem DeRazio, Daryl Gibson, the coaching staff, their game plan is coming to fruition.
You know, I think when your leading scorers, when they get involved and have success early, it makes everybody feel good. It makes it easier to stay disciplined and stay within scheme, because you feel like everything's working. So certainly they got to be able to finish the opportunities, but being able to create high quality opportunities is the key to shooting a higher percentage.
Jackson Nishimura, he's a threat to score.
I love that decision right there. You know, he comes in, he gives it a test. It's a sort of a 3-on-3, and teams are subbing. He gets a pretty good opportunity, but has the discipline to pull it out and chooses to go 5-on-5. I just think it's a high percentage decision.
Resetaritz whistles one. Hill goes down to a full stretch, loses sight of the ball. There it is, Warren, you've got it. Warren, a product of Syracuse, came into SU from OCC. You'll see a lot of Ohio State and Cuse on that Halifax roster.
Yep. Well, he seems like he's settling in a little bit. You know, I think 3 of the first 5 or 6 shots went in on him, but he's made 2 or 3 really good saves in a row here and seems to be finding his rhythm a little bit better.
First 3 goals of the game belong to the FireWolves, and then Colton Armstrong scored his first of the season to get the Thunderbirds on the board. Shot edge, +2 FireWolves. Clock down to 5 seconds. A shot missing wide. Albany coming up empty there. Let's see if they get a chance now. Developing. Swim move. And not much going. Luke Magnan is cut off, and the FireWolves, they do such a great job getting that defensive unit on the floor to give Halifax no easy opportunity.
You know, it's such a tease because he obviously sees that he's got an advantage here. Albany does a good job of getting out the back door and trying to break it up. You know, you gotta walk that fine line. If it's there, you let it go. But it seemed like he got it a little too far and couldn't get out of it, and the result was ended up in a turnover.
Andrew Q noticeably setting ball screens on the left side. Albany starting its offense with the righty forwards, looking for those lefties to cut through, and credit to Halifax. It's done a nice job defending it so far, as Eric Fennell, also an Ohio State product, setting up shop for Halifax. Just 1 goal so far. It came in transition. Crease violation, the officials on top of it. By the way, our crew tonight, Ian Garrison is tonight's crew chief, Josh Hiltz and Mark Heitz here tonight for FireWolves Thunderbirds. This crew is actually heading to Long Island tomorrow to officiate the New York Riptide game.
Yep, Buffalo Riptide. That game got delayed because of the bomb cyclone that we had to drive through to get up here, but we were able to make it.
Little 2-man game, and Hill reacting nicely with that right shoulder. Calls for a reset. We're under a minute to go in the first quarter.
It's a great opportunity. You know, they end up getting a really high quality shot. He actually beats Hill, but hits the pipe. Ball bounces out, and Albany's able to retain possession.
Q was on the attack, stutter step, tiptoes out, ball comes loose. Halifax can leap on it now, but we are going to get our first penalty of the game. The official aiming low as he signals to the Halifax bench. We will get the call here in just a moment. This one's going against Halifax.
You're going to get Graham Hossack. FireWolves have to be happy to get him off the floor. He is a big, physical specimen, Graham Hossack.
I'm no referee.
I mean, does Hossack really think he's going to get away with the trip? 6'2", 240.
He is barn boss in most of all the barns that he's walking around. That's for sure.
So the FireWolves on the power play. They've been improving as the year's gone on. 2 for 3 in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago. Now they won't have Riley O'Connor out here. They've got Durston, who's that nickname is Dirty, and on the doorstep the FireWolves score. Jacob Brouet buries buries one to put him up 4-1.
There you go. You know, you got a 5-on-3 situation with 2 of the Thunderbirds in the box, and then you attack it with really quick lateral ball movement, and it's just too much for the goalie to get back, and it's an easy backside dunk.
Bresson Terrets going right, and then there's Q again. The passing has been superb out of Q the last couple of games. We're finding out about Q's game as we move throughout the year. We mentioned it. He scores the goal coming out the back door. Underrated feeder, because everyone thinks he's just that outside shooter, a sniper. It's not the case. He's got more to his game, Andy. You know, you traded for him.
Listen, 100%. You know, he's an incredible playmaker. He really is, PG. You know, he's known as a shooter. You know, that's how he's known. But you're looking at his ability to make the right pass with consistency and puts pressure on team defenses. If they're trying to take him away as a shooter, and he's got the opportunity to exploit that decision as a feeder, and he's able to do that, that creates some problems for teams on how they're going to defend Andrew Q. Gotta hope it carries over to the Chaos Lacrosse Club this summer.
Another tightly contested battle in the neutral area for a loose ball. FireWolves have the final possession of the first. They lead 4-1 thanks to the Rouet goal on the power play. Albany now 3 for its last 4 on the power play. Struggled here in the opener. They go to that right side once again, and this time Rouet is stopped by Hill, and time runs out in the opening quarter here inside MVP Arena in the Capital Region. Albany FireWolves ahead 4-1, so crucial in the National Lacrosse League to play with the lead. They got the floor out here late, some hockey earlier in the day, and the FireWolves say we'll be just fine. They're warmed up, leading by 3 on Halifax. One quarter in the books. We come to you from MVP Arena in downtown Albany, New York. The FireWolves, their 3rd home game of their inaugural season. And this guy, 30 in the red and gold jersey, off to a fantastic start. 8 shots, 7 stops for Dougie Jamieson. Just a transition goal. Defensively as a whole, again, with Bomberry back, Manny back, you have Downing. Just defensively, they are very connected right now. No Peterson, no Jackson, but despite all that, Cody Jamieson, Austin Shanks, they're having a hard time getting in their flow. Halifax, Andy.
Yeah, you know, Clarkey was very, very, great score right there. That's going to really help him. Clarkey was very adamant about taking away the inside on the defensive end, and they've been able to do that so far, only giving up 1 transition goal to Halifax.
Nick Tchaikovsky with his first strike of the season. He was also absent for the game in Philadelphia in the COVID protocol. A transition finish for the FireWolves, and that time Scott Campbell caught tiptoeing there.
You know, again, credit Joe Nardello to win the face-off right there. He's able to control the clamp, pull it back. They've got 3 guys on the back end. and the second opportunity for them getting transition from the faceoffs. Obviously, teams are going to hunt transition off of goalie stops and live ground ball situations from the defensive end to the offensive end. But when you're getting them off of the faceoffs, that really can be a backbreaker. And so far to this point, it has been.
We emphasized the face-off battle at the top of the show. At this stage, 4 wins for Nardella, 3 for Jake Withers.
You know, I think what you're going to see Jake Withers do is he's going to start to switch up his techniques. You know, he's the best on the planet probably in being able to make adjustments and force his opponent to have to change their move to maintain success. So look for Jake Withers to make the adjustments that he needs to make. And they're going to need it because as of right now, Albany certainly is, you know, on top 5-1.
Outstanding feed to Kitchen, just couldn't finish. That pass was disrupted. Withers, folks, finished his career at Ohio State in 2017, finished his career as the Buckeyes' all-time leader at ground balls. Such a threat on the defensive end, not just a true face-off guy that hops off the floor. Very different circumstances in the indoor game, and Nardella is only getting better with each and every game. Transition Albany, quick dish back to the right side for Benesh. He just mishandled it momentarily. Halifax back the other way.
Yeah, I think you touched on it right there. What makes Withers and Nardella so special is both of those guys have the ability to play great defense. They're great athletes. They're very competent offensive ball handlers. And, you know, you marry that up with the fact that they're, you know, 2 of the best on the planet from a technique standpoint at the X, and it's a real advantage going against teams that don't have a designated stud at that position.
Stephen LeBlanc, his opportunity, he couldn't cash in. Bushi tried to follow up Nishimura after a beautiful dish from Jamison to cross the timeline. O'Connor rotates up top, flings it now to the right side. Notice how everyone's moving here offensively for the team in maroon. Constant movement. That's what Daryl Gibson wants, the OC. Durston has the ball spun around. It comes loose. He didn't see the clock.
Yeah, you know what I'm liking about the way that Albany seems to be playing offense is they're, you know, running a 2-man game on the right side. They swing the ball up across the top. They run the 2-man game on the left side, and then they're cutting from the right side on the help side. They got a great guy right there. They didn't punch it into him. But that first goal that I think Andrew Q scored was within the scheme like that.
Spacing has been very impressive early as well, coming up those screen drags. Nardella, the feed, almost gets it back there. He had Resiteritz dashing in out the back door.
That was a great stop by Warren Hill right there. I thought he was actually going to go to the lower guy, and he threw it to the cutter, and for Warren Hill to get there low and away, what a save that was.
As Andy said, he's kind of settled into the game, even though it is 5-1, so Hill might have to make some mighty stops to keep Halifax in this one. Downing with a great bouncer feed into the cutting Q. And Hill falls in front, keeps it alive, and it's still a 5-1 game.
You know, he's really done a great job in adjusting to the release of the ball. Instead of anticipating where the shots are going, what he might have been doing in the beginning, you know, he's really playing the release, staying home, and moving. Obviously, he has to move, but he's not giving them space to shoot at by anticipating where the ball is going and falling for the interception.
Which is easier said than done, right? You're watching a release as opposed to where the ball's actually going. That, again, split-second thinking there.
Yeah, these guys obviously are shooting 100 miles an hour, and they're putting it in a, you know, a 4x4-inch box with consistency. These goalies are just, you know, incredible that they're able to make the saves that they're able to make in this game.
Benesh gets bodied out. Here comes the double team. Hossack slides up. He can be aggressive to Q. Cutting shot. Hill with the save. Ball in front. Hill's had a couple of moments there where you hold your breath if you're Halifax defensively. They come up with the Lucians, Trevor Smith.
You know, you look at the way they're changing fields right there. We talked about offenses in this league being so dangerous when they're putting together, you know, 4 or 5 pass combinations and changing it from the right side to the left side. It looked like Warren Hill was anticipating the ball coming back to the right side and was able to get to the pipe and make an unbelievable stop.
Notice how we have not called Austin Shanks' name quite a bit in this game so far. Just 1 shot attempt for Shanks, who went for 5 goals, 3 assists. in the 1-goal win over Toronto 2 weeks ago. All 3 of Halifax's wins, they are 3-0. There's Shanks as he fires, dragged in front by Jamieson, on the air out by the defenseman. Ball plops down. Lucy nearly collected as Halifax spills on the floor defensively at Soroketti, the former champion of the Saskatchewan Rush. Man, FireWolves still trying to ignite that transition. It feels like Halifax is starting to pick up and understand what they're trying to accomplish there. 9:49 to go in the half. It's 5-1, Albany.
Welcome back. Joined now by Halifax head coach Micah Kersey. Coach, scoring tough to come by early here. How do you ignite the offense a little bit?
I think they're just playing too fast and they're not investing in the ball. So, it's just a matter of us just settling down and getting back to basics.
Thank you very much, Coach. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And I think what Coach is getting at there, what we spoke to him about after shoot-around this morning, Micah Kersey, second-year head coach of the Halifax Thunderbirds, just a very athletic group, very fast group defensively, and it's hard to get into your offense in that case. And I want to remind folks that Thunderbirds have another big East Division matchup, of course. Next Friday night, 7 p.m., they host the New York Riptide. First of 3 straight at home for the Halifax Thunderbirds. Make sure you don't miss a moment of the action on TSN Direct.
You've seen a couple of possessions where Halifax has had some transition, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s, 1-on-1s, and they've pushed that. And when you push those and you don't score, you're going to end up playing defense again. And one of the things that Coach Kersey stressed, we got an opportunity here, 1-on-1.
Here we go.
One-on-one.
Halifax is late coming back. Malcolm can't finish. Ishimura was in from behind, hoping to piggyback him that time. He couldn't do so as Tarasenko sprints the other way.
To finish my point.
Please do.
Yeah, he talked about the importance of getting depth in their possessions in 5-on-5 to ideally tire out the FireWolves defense, which he hoped would equate to them not pushing transition. And it's actually gone the other way. It seems like they're settling in a little bit, but it's got to be a concern moving ahead.
I'll say this too, I feel offensively, Halifax has had a hard time swinging the ball, and they're almost settling for really contested shots up top. That's what Albany wants them to do. They're daring them to shoot outside.
Yeah, if you have an advantage athletically, which is, I think Albany does, they have the opportunity to step out and pressure a little bit more on defense. And when you pressure, you can create a lot of confusion and you can force some bad decisions on the offense. And, until teams can handle the pressure and end up generating higher quality opportunities against pressure than against, a softer pace of play, teams are going to continue to pressure you.
Tyson Bell broke free and then dished it to Fennell. FireWolves to counter on the transition, 3-on-2 on the door. A fake and a score! Waved off. LaFontaine was in the crease.
Wow, that was a pretty goal. Too bad he was in the crease. because that was some kind of dip and dunk. It almost defied physics as he threw a sort of a speed lob over the top of Warren Hill into the top left corner.
As Andy Towers would say, that would have been sick.
That would have been sick. That was sick, even though he stepped in the crease.
As David Brock back the other way. Brock, number 3 in the orange and white jersey. He actually played at Albany. He was a captain there in 2010. His 11th NLL season, spending a majority of his career in Toronto. Halifax runs out of time. It's still 5-1. Albany led this game 3-0. The lone goal for Halifax, folks, a transition goal out of Colton Armstrong. Kyle Jackson, a healthy scratch, and Clark Peterson in the COVID protocol today. So that is definitely shining here today, that absence.
Yeah, you know, they lost their leading scorer to COVID. Is certainly going to create some discomfort, but I think it's also affected Austin Shanks a little bit as well.
No question. Graham Hossack will take the defender with him and shoot a low bouncer. Drags out, collected by the Thunderbirds. Rebound in front. Defense is there in front of Jamieson. Dougie so far the edge on Hill, and as far as saves, both OCC products. They've got 3-on-1, as Andy said, and they convert. It's Malcolm who scored the first goal in team history in this building, and he puts them up 5 midway through the second.
You know, it's backbreaking. Graham Hossack comes down, he gets a decent shot. Not an unbelievably good shot, but a decent shot. He misses the goal, bounces off, it gets to Jamieson. You know, Jamieson's one of the best players in the history of this league. And he takes a good shot, but Jamieson makes the save. You know, Dougie Jamieson makes the save. Sure enough, transition the other way, 3-on-1, and that's the back-breaking transition that Coach Accursi was concerned with when we spoke to him this week.
Well, you asked him this morning, you said, Coach, give us something offensively and defensively, and he broke it right in the middle and said, it's going to come down to the transition, Andy, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and he understands that short offensive possessions equate to live transition opportunities. You know, it's one thing to get a great shot and to take it early in a possession. It's another thing to take a decent shot early in transition. It just ends up killing you.
And the FireWolves have mapped this in their game plan, and it's one thing to have a blueprint, but then to execute it almost to perfection at this stage. Did the ball go in the net there? That was questionable.
Yeah.
Bomberry was looking at it for a second. The fans were oohing and eyeing there, Andy. We have a great look at it here.
Well, how does the ball go in the net and we don't have a whistle that stopped play? I didn't hear the play stop and the ball was in the net. Usually that means it's a goal, BG.
Austin Shanks playing off ball currently. Bushi flips to Shanks and down he goes. First penalty against Albany upcoming, and we'll get the first look at Halifax on the power play, which has struggled through 3 games, and now you get the sense, Nongo Thompson speaking to some of the FireWolves, Nongo's playing some offense tonight. That shows you the depth that Halifax lacks tonight because of their absences.
I think that the absence of Clark Peterson is really being felt in this first half.
Albany penalty number 33, 2 minutes illegal body check.
An illegal body check on Albany.
This is an important power play for Halifax right here. I do think they're seeing, a team that's trying to identify who they are without Clark Peterson in the lineup. They are going to make the changes. You know, Coach Accursi is going to get these guys connected. They've done a great job of making adjustments throughout the season. You don't win 1-goal games. You don't win overtime games if your coach doesn't have a handle on the way that you want to play.
Look at these ranks here, folks. Halifax in the abbreviated COVID season was second in the NLL, 31 for 56, 55% of the power play. This year, last in the NLL through 3 games. Jamieson read that shot well as he squirms. Dougie shed 80 pounds. He can get low like that from time to time. He is locked in right now.
He has been really tough in 5-on-5. Not to mention he's had a bunch of great stops versus Halifax when they're pushing transition. They did beat him once, but it was a transition opportunity. But he's been locked in so far.
We've talked about Clark Peterson quite a bit, the Cornell grad. He was a sophomore captain, which is historic given Cornell's history. 6 assists in that Toronto win a couple of weeks ago. And again, it's really It's glaring because it's created difficulty for Shanks to get going as Terefenko dashes away, but we have a whistle right in front of the FireWolves bench with under 5 to go in the second.
Yeah, for being a 3-time captain at any level is impressive, but to do it at a school like Cornell that has such an incredible history of success, great leadership, speaks volumes about how valuable Clark Peterson is to that team.
All right, we'll get 4-on-4 for 43 seconds. Dougie Jamieson, he's up for any challenge. 5-on-5, 4-on-3, 4-on-4. He's ready for it. Dougie's locked in. 6-1, FireWolves.
Information, go to albanyfirewolves.com.
Coming up on the Guaranteed Rate NLL halftime show, we will live look in on a few games around the league. 5 other games tonight in the NLL, that plus first half analysis, all coming up on the Guaranteed Rate halftime show. Luke Magnan of Halifax hit with a 2-minute roughing penalty. So for the next 35 seconds, 4-on-4 lacrosse. Andrew Q pivots and kicks out.
This is going to be trouble here. 2-on-1, now almost a 3-on-1.
Withers shovels it into the lefty. Dougie sliding. Dougie has been, since the Armstrong goal, Dougie Jamieson, 17 saves.
You know, they made the right decision. They're pushing it. It's 3-on-1, 4-on-2. They got a really high quality shot right on the pipe, and Jamieson's able to slide and make the stop. You know, you got to take your hat off and say, great save. That's the right decision to push those opportunities.
FireWolves are 1 for 1 on the power play. They've got 5-on-4 now for the next minute, 10 seconds.
Look for Albany to try to hunt the inside here. You know, they've done a really good job of that so far, not only on the power play, but also in the 5-on-5 situations, forcing Halifax to collapse. And if they collapse, then you're able to get the skip passes to the other side of the field.
Warren Hill leaves the floor. A delayed call upcoming here as Hill leaves to now set it up 5 against 5. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first half. It's all FireWolves here. Not a single 5-on-5 set goal for the Thunderbirds. Their lone goal in transition, courtesy of Colton Armstrong, his first of the season. I'll tell you something too on the power play. We'll get to this if Albany comes back up here. Jordan Durston. His nickname is Dirty for a reason. The big guy just plows guys around. If you're in the Northeast and you're trying to clear up some snow, get Jordan Durston to do it for you. That's essentially what he serves as.
Right, he could have helped during the bomb cyclone today.
Yeah, he could have helped. Honestly, you could have taken Jordan Durston, glued him or taped him with duct tape to the front of your car, and he would have gotten you here in one piece.
That's aspirational.
Yes. Yeah, it's very graphic too, I suppose. So I apologize. I was very passionate about that. But
no, I like the description. It really puts you there.
Duct tape probably wouldn't work either, but we'll go with it. Okay, so now it's 4 against 4.
Yeah, look for picks.
It's Durston, by the way, who picks up the penalty.
Look for some picks coming from the inside so that these guys can attack the middle of the field. Just like that. You know, that really maximizes the angle. But again, Doug Jamieson's there for the stop. I mean, wow. He's got about 15 or 16 saves, maybe more than that, maybe 20 saves. It looks like 21 shots on goal, 20 shots on goal. He's got 19 saves.
Cody Jamieson, meanwhile, the 2014 NLL MVP, two-time champion at Syracuse University. He did not score a goal against Toronto, had 4 assists. They might need Jammer to get going as a scorer, unlike the game in Toronto. Jammer's only game of the season to this stage.
I really like the power play look where Albany had a similar look where they set a pick from the inside. The guy comes off the pick to the middle of the field, throws it forward to the wing, and they skip it back to the backside pitch.
Colton Watkinson is down in the FireWolves offensive zone. Hopefully he's okay. Colton down to a knee, having trouble getting up.
See what happened right there. That kid's as tough as they come.
Sure is. Former first-round pick out of Limestone, Colton Watkinson, a product of the Hill Academy, led by Brody Merrill. 2018 All-Rookie selection. Colton's so important to what this team does in transition. And that's just, hopefully, again, he's okay, but just always full max effort on this side in transition. There it is, yeah, a little, don't want to speculate, but something, of course, lower body. So he's helped to the sideline. New man comes on. 5-on-4. Durston still serving the penalty for the FireWolves. Let's see if Halifax can get something here going into the locker room. Nearly a tip shot home. Jamieson rotating back. He is standing on his head. Dougie Jamieson, 20-plus saves in this first half.
He really is. You know, the first stop that he made was a left-handed twister that he got to low and away. And then he saw 3 shots of barrage right on top and was able to make the stops. He's really seen the ball well tonight. No question.
And the crowd is giving him some love right now, rightfully so. Dougie, the reigning goaltender of the year in the National Lacrosse League. He's only 25 years old. What a draft pick by the former New England Black Wolves regime in the second round in 2016. He is a special, special player between the pipes. Back to full strength Albany, 5 against 5, under a minute to go in this first half.
I think Halifax needs to really settle in and worry about one possession at a time. You know, obviously they're down 6-1 as we close out the end of the first half here. You know, but I think they just got to chip away. You know, get back to what Coach Kersey was talking about. Get your opportunities, get depth in your possessions, and if you score, great. If you don't score, you know, you're not playing defense as often.
Connor Watson, the rookie, he is stopped. And we'll get a timeout here, taken by Albany, trying to set up something. An offensive set with 28.4 seconds to go. Watson has taken a majority of their shots, which, no disrespect to Watson, but that's an issue because it shows that they've taken away Austin Shanks. 6-1 ball game. We're looking in live now to Toronto-Rochester. This one in crunch time, and Toronto, who fell to this Halifax team in a 1-goal game last time out in overtime. It looks like the Rock could bounce back here.
Yeah, they're a dangerous team. You know, they've had some COVID problems as well, have missed some of their key players, lost a couple of 1-goal heartbreakers. You know, it's a dangerous team. You sort of look at the way the playoffs are shaping up. You like the way that Buffalo looks. Halifax right behind them, 3-0, but Albany's playing better. You know, and the Rock are a team that are a threat not only to make the playoffs, to win the whole thing if they end up finding their rhythm. But these teams have had to navigate a tough, you know, COVID environment over the first month and a half of the season. And I think as it gets put behind them, we're going to really start to see the true identities of these teams.
Just eyeball tests, it feels like Buffalo than everybody else, but it's a really cluttered Eastern Conference. Those top 4 spots are going to be hard to come by.
It does. You look at the way Buffalo plays, they really look like they know who they are on, you know, on the offensive end, the defensive end. They got a great goalie. You know, but as you continue to have success, you also are going to get everybody's best shot.
FireWolves get into offense, it's Q. They fight for the Lucy. Hill leaps up as that ball bounces over his head momentarily. 1 second to shoot, Hill launching. He may have gotten it off, but it misses wide left. What an impressive performance by the Albany FireWolves defense. Starts with Jamison, works its way out defensively. A phenomenal start for the Albany FireWolves, ladies and gentlemen. This Halifax team entered tonight third in the NLL in scoring at 12.3 goals per game, scoring 12, 12, and 14 goals in each of their 3 wins. Undefeated Halifax and Dougie Jamison, 23 saves in that first half. FireWolves score 6 of them, and 1 belongs to Andrew Q. He's downstairs with our Ashley Miller.
Andrew, 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers. You guys have done it basically in every different way. What's working tonight?
Yeah, I think that's our identity is have everybody chip in. It happened in the first half there, and we're up 6-1. Good offense, good defense. Dougie is just solid in the net, and we're pushing the ball in transition, so good start.
Coach said if Dougie gets going early, that's when you kind of know. And how good does that make you guys feel knowing 1 goal?
Yeah, it's awesome when he's back there, brick wall like he is tonight. We lean on him, and he's giving us momentum. So
thanks so much, Andrew. Good luck the rest of the way. Guys, back up to you.
Andrew Q, 1 goal, 1 assist. Currently a FireWolf and soon to be a member of the Chaos with Andy Towers. We'll step aside and begin our halftime coverage. 6-1, Albany in front of Halifax. The Guaranteed Rate halftime show coming your way next. Welcome to the Guaranteed Rate halftime show. We are here at MVP Arena in downtown Albany, New York. The FireWolves lead the Halifax Thunderbirds 6-1. Brendan Glasheen, Andy Towers up in the booth, and let's give ourselves a live look into what's happening between 2 other Eastern Conference powers. They play very, very close games historically. Georgia and Philly. No surprise here that these 2 teams are in another battle. They played a tight one in our ESPN linear game a few weeks ago, and here they are tied 7-7, a tale of two halves, Andy Towers.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, you look at the game and you see Georgia jumped up on top of them. They were up 4-1 at the end of the first quarter, up 6-2 at halftime, only to see the Wings regroup, outscore them 5-1 in the second half. There's about, 52 seconds left, and it appears like the momentum is with the Wings. You know, as you said, these teams just battle, but true to form in this league, another one-goal game right here. They got 52 seconds for someone to bury, otherwise we're going to overtime again.
High-level execution on the power play in this game. Both teams combined 5 for 6 with the extra man on the floor. For Eddie Como's Georgia squad, Shane Jackson's back. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists. Jackson's 140 straight games being active in a game in the NLL came to a halt with the Rochester game last week, and guys filled in nicely for Philly. They're probably thinking, we come off a tough showing against Rochester, we've got to be better. So they've responded to the challenge. Ben McIntosh has had a game. He's got 3 goals.
Yeah, you know, I watched this game, I think it was 3 weeks ago, when you and Mitch did it, and the game went to overtime, and sure enough, Blaze Reardon, the best player in the world, right, ends up coming off a down pick and sticking the game winner right down the right pipe. And it looks like we're going to overtime again. We'll see what happens. 24 seconds, left here, but it wouldn't surprise me if this goes back into overtime. And these two teams are really, really battling.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a timeout on the floor there in Duluth. Should be a fantastic finish. Just looking at the Eastern Conference standings, Georgia entering this contest at 2-2. Philadelphia is 4-3. So the Wings can create a little separation and keep up with the likes of Buffalo. At least for Philly, they could get that 5th win. Buffalo is 4-0, but getting that 5th win would keep them up in that department. Halifax, of course, is in jeopardy of falling to 3-1 with the FireWolves dominating here at 2-2. And for Albany's sake, they've got to win head-to-head with Philadelphia, and they've got Georgia next week. So you can look at this in a couple different ways. If Philly beats Georgia, Albany's getting a very woken up Georgia Swarm team, but if Philly knocks them off, that helps the FireWolves as of week 9 in the standings. See, we're allowed to do this kind of scoreboard watching. I know you don't do that during the summer because you'd get yourself into some trouble overthinking things, but now, Andy Towers, as you put your media cap on, this is what we do. We start looking into things and really picking apart standings and juicy storylines.
Yeah, listen, I think for all of these teams, anybody can beat anybody on any given night. And so they really got to do a good job of staying in the moment and just going out and focusing their energies on what's going to win their next game. And certainly with, them up 6-1 versus Halifax tonight, regardless of who wins the Philly-Georgia game, they're going to get Georgia, and then beyond that, they get a chance at Buffalo, who obviously I think is the premier team in the league at this point. But again, we got a long way to go.
Here we go. Let's watch this here again. We're at the half here at Albany, checking out Georgia-Philly. Corey Small to Crowley. Small shot is stopped, and Georgia almost got an opportunity there with the empty net. They went 6-on-5, so they're going to overtime. No surprise. Swarm and Wings in another battle, and they'll do so in Duluth. We'll take the break here in the Capital Region. FireWolves leading the Halifax Thunderbirds 6-1. We'll be back on the Guaranteed Rate Halftime Show. Let's take a look at games around the National Lacrosse League this weekend. It's brought to you by BetMGM. So Toronto with a win at home over Rochester. The Nighthawks now in a bit of a rut. We'll see how they adjust going forward. So Toronto improves to 3-3. Georgia and Philadelphia in overtime. Saskatchewan looking to improve its 1-4 record on the season against Panther City out in the West. And Colorado 3-1, looking to keep pace with San Diego atop the West Conference, up 2-0 on Vancouver. 2 more games to go, one tomorrow, New York and Buffalo. We'll have the second half between the FireWolves and Thunderbirds from MVP Arena in the Capital Region. A beautiful night, but a cold night in the Capital Region. We come back. The NLL on ESPN is brought to you by NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. By Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. And by BetMGM, the official sportsbook of the NLL. Get the BetMGM app today. Now you are winning with the king of sportsbooks. Please bet responsibly. Cold night in the Capital Region. Saturday night lacrosse. It's been a busy weekend here, Andy Towers. Siena, Niagara men's basketball on Friday night. There were 2 hockey games here today. Lacrosse and then basketball again tomorrow. A loaded weekend here at MVP Arena.
Yeah, you got to credit the facilities people by with the job that they've done to get this turf down and get it started so seamlessly, especially after 2 hockey games.
Yeah, the Bears Cup games were earlier today. Want to shout out MVP Arena General Manager Bob Belber and his team doing a great job getting the floor ready. Brendan Glasheen, Andy Towers, Ashley Miller on the floor. Ashley, you've got some more insight on the chaos this weekend.
Yeah, you shouted them out. These are some of the hardest working people in the business, guys. I was here Friday night for college hoops. They then flipped the basketball court into ice hockey. 2 Division I ice hockey games here this morning and this afternoon. Back to the turf for lacrosse, and then, like you said, back to the basketball court again tomorrow. So these people are putting in overtime, and we definitely appreciate their efforts.
And just a 15-minute delay to start tonight's game. That ball grabbed some pipe. Dougie lost sight of it. I just realized also I said chaos, and I really did not mean the pun.
But I liked it.
You could tell. Interesting. Right when I said it, I'm like, right, look who I'm standing next to.
Yeah, well, listen, Halifax had a great opening shot right there. Again, it didn't seem like Dougie saw it coming out of the stick. It actually beat him, hit the pipe, so it didn't go in. But, more shots in the middle of the floor is what Halifax is going to be hunting. Setting these inside-out picks, coming off the pick to the middle of the floor. That's where the goal's the biggest.
And let's see if they stick with their commitment. Halifax on offense, drawing out those possessions, making the athletic FireWolves on defense really work here. It feels like they've controlled the tempo of this game. Downing's pass broken up by Halifax. They've made an adjustment, I feel, getting back in transition. Might be too little too late, though, being down 5 goals and the way Dougie's playing. It's really a big uphill climb.
No question. Great play by Tyson Bell right there. He is as tough as you need him to be. Just a great teammate and just, a real challenge to play again.
He is also a product of OCC. There is a goal for Halifax. They get one. It's Bushi, the righty, on the right doorstep to make it 6-2.
Yeah, just a simple 2-man game on the right side of the floor. You see an up pick, cuts inside, catches a crossbody, and beats it to the far pipe. I mean, that's just, basic 2-man game, 101 right there.
And that's a goal they get in 5-on-5. Their lone goal earlier was in transition by Armstrong, his first of the season. Bushi's go-to is that twister move, but that time that was very fluid, crisp passing, and just patience. Halifax looking like, okay, let's take a deep breath and run our stuff.
You catch that cross body right there, and again, your stick is to the inside. You've got the option of showing to the far side, and if the goalie doesn't react to that, you're going to beat him to the far side, and if he reacts and you pull him off the pipe, then you're going to see him folded over to the near side. Just a great finish. And the type of shot that these guys want to get. They want to get good opportunities within the framework of their scheme in 5-on-5 scenarios. And if they're able to do that, they should put some pressure on Dougie Jamieson to really have to move to make the saves.
Rouet falls down as Resiteritz whips it up top to Andrew Q. They set screens for Q. Coming around a pair of screens now. Q hits Banesh now on the doorstep. Hill rotates well. Kicks that ball out. Halifax pounces on it. It leads to a fast break. Shot missing wide. Here's a rebound. And Dougie was ready to go. Smith rifled one back at him. Jamieson in the perfect spot per usual tonight.
They get 2 great shots there. I like the fact that being down 6-2, they got a good high quality shot in transition. You got to take it, and then they crash the net. They end up getting the rebound and then force Dougie to get another great save, and he does it to his credit. But they look inspired. Halifax looks like they're inspired. And I'm not surprised. Coach Accursi gets these guys aligned to manage, running the offense within scheme, even though they're missing their leading scorer in Clark Peterson.
Scott Campbell, 40-year-old, dishes off. Campbell's been in this league a long time. 3-time champion with Rochester. 17th season. He'll be 40 on October 23rd. Here's Campbell, skittering one wide right. collected by Stephen LeBlanc, who spent 2+ seasons in New England, the former regime. FireWolves, of course, making the transition in February of last year. Coming up on a year now since the FireWolves were announced to join the National Lacrosse League, the sell to Albany from New England.
I think you see Halifax doing a good job of getting out that back door. I'm sure that's something that they spoke about at halftime. Make sure that they're not giving the FireWolves any unearned transition. You know, just a little bit more awareness of the importance of getting a clean subbing game can eliminate transition opportunities, and is so valuable to the FireWolves and what they're trying to do offensively.
Brad Gillies was ramping it up, and then he spun around. Dougie Jamieson, 25 saves. He's up 7 in that department on Hill. On the door, Jamieson lost the handle. A rare mishap, and just his body language there, looking up. I had a chance. That's been the kind of night.
Yeah, Cody Jamieson about never misses that opportunity, and he's pretty automatic in front of the goal with nobody on him. You got to believe if he handled that, he had a good chance of putting it away.
Jammer tonight, 5 shots total. He's had 1 miss wide, 4 on the goal. 2 straight games, potentially. Still plenty of time in this one. Under 10 to go, third quarter. Jamieson did not score in the Toronto game, his first appearance of the season. First trip south of the border this year for Halifax. They're 3-0, and all of their wins have been 1-goal wins.
You know, the thing about Cody Jamieson is at any time he can get hot, and he does not lose his confidence. And he's somebody that is going to continue to shoot, and, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see him put together, you know, 2 goals in a row, something like that. He's got that, you know, level of talent, and certainly creates high-quality opportunities for himself.
Bomberry is not happy with the official. Halifax is going to the power play.
2-minute hold.
Hold on Bomberry. So maybe that gives Halifax a lift. Down 4, 5-on-4, Edge Thunderbirds when we return to MVP Arena.
Turn your attention to section 105. The Albany FireWolves would like to welcome the 2022 Albany Great Games men's lacrosse team, led by head coach Scott Barr. Leading the Great Games is Coach Barr and ranked to 11. American East Championships as well as several NCAA tournament appearances. Great Games in a decision of one of the toughest schedules in the country, featuring home matchups against American East rivals Vermont and Stony Brook, as well as a first-time visit to BC Stadium by Ivy League powerhouse Penn, and the highly anticipated showdown with the Syracuse Orange. The Albany men's lacrosse season tickets are on sale now. To get your tickets now will be a part of the action. Call 518-442-GAME or go online to ualbanysports.com/tickets. And now it's time for the kids camp. Let's see what you got, kids.
Week 9 of the National Lacrosse League. It's really heating up this time of year, even though the temperatures are getting cold, and we can see here in Georgia, still 7-7 in overtime. Georgia and Philly, they always play close games. We will see who comes out victorious in that one. Here at MVP Arena in the Capital Region, Brendan Glasheen, Andy Towers, Ashley Miller, great to have you joining us. One of 6 games in the league tonight. Halifax down 4 on the power play. Bomberry hit for holding. On the Albany side, Bushi traces down that loose ball. It's into the stick of Austin Shanks.
It's an important power play for Halifax here, right? You had a good opportunity to get it, you know, to 3 goals. Wow, Dougie gets to the far side of the goal again. Really is moving well laterally.
It feels like Shanks telegraphed that look, and Dougie just does such a great job. I think you said this earlier. we said this of Warren Hill, Dougie's reading the release and where that stick location is before the ball even comes out. He's already reading Shanks' idea before the ball's even coming out of the stick.
Yeah, you know, the farther you get away from the middle of the field, obviously, the less angle you have to score.
And a shorty for the FireWolves. Just their second shorthanded goal of the season. They are fired up.
That's a tough
Banesh.
Tough turn of events for Halifax right there. They got a high-quality shot. Dougie makes an unbelievable save low and away, and they end up dunking on the other end.
Talk about going short side, Banesh. That is a small window.
It's a huge goal for Albany.
That might quell the enthusiasm on that Halifax bench. That is a killer. 7-2. Another crucial face-off. Now we've had multiple situations. You just saw the official signal in a false start on those.
Nards went early that time.
That's happened quite a bit tonight. So again, folks, just after the face-off, both Withers and Nardella have improved immensely as defenders. Jamison, that's the first time I feel like he's ripped one and stepped into a shot like that. Hit some pipe, low right side. Folks, want to remind you, following the Every Child Matters weekend across the NLL earlier this month, now is your chance to own a team-signed Every Child Matters warm-up shirt. Visit NLL.com/auctions to bid on your favorite team shirt. Auction to close tonight. So get to NLL.com/auctions. Midway through the third at MVP Arena in the Capital Region, FireWolves.
I'll tell you, Albany's done a great job, particularly in general 5-on-5, but particularly on the penalty kill of taking away the inside. You know, that was something that Coach Clark has talked about, making sure they take away the inside and give Doug the opportunity to see shots from the outside. And if they're able to consistently do that, you really put the pressure on your opponent's shooters.
Both teams back to full strength. FireWolves get a shorthanded goal out of it. Their second of the season. Off the pick, that's a high percentage shot. And the Thunderbirds score around the screen. That's how you set it up, Austin Shanks.
Again, you set the screens from the inside out. You allow your shooters to attack the middle of the floor. That's where their shooting angle is the best. That's where they can utilize near side deception with a far side finish or low deception with a high finish. You just have a lot more options as you approach the middle of the floor than you have when you're approaching the boards.
If my count is correct, Dougie Jamison saved 23 consecutive shots. 31 shots faced, 29 saves. So at some point he was going to come back down to earth.
Yeah, I mean, he's forcing these guys to have great shots to beat them or really high quality opportunities with ball movement.
Another possession won for Halifax. Withers has the edge. 7-6 in that department. Quick shot on the door. Jamison reaching out to make the stop to prevent any momentum felt, and that was Connor Watson who was denied.
You know, that's just an incredible offensive sequence right there. You get a ball pick, you get a forward pass, you get two more great passes into a layup on the backside. Doug's able to get there with his left hand and make the stop. It's really perfect offense, everything but the finish.
Pardon me, Andy. Ball moving there for the FireWolves, but now it leads to a transition opportunity. Halifax kick save, Dougie. Gillies, he couldn't believe it. Jacob Rouet comes up with the loose ball. He's pressured by Trevor Smith. FireWolves bolt up the other end over the timeline. They want to keep moving here. Here's Ressa Terrence, a low bouncer, hoping Hill would rise. Hill did a good job staying low. Out to Terafenko. And the offense spills onto the floor for Halifax. 4-goal game, under 6 to go. Here in the third, Jamison the dish. Quick rebound try. Jamison stomps on the ball almost with Bomberry alongside. Colton Watkinson, good to see Colton back out there. He went down to one knee, was practically dragging himself off the floor. Good to see him out there.
It shows you the kind of heart that kid has. He is a warrior, Colton Watkinson. You know, they're really doing, Halifax is doing a great job of putting pressure on Doug Jamieson from the right side here. I noticed that a lot of these shots are going low and away. Here they go, here's transition again.
Yeah, after the Reciteer, it's turnover, 3 against 2 to the door, quick tip shot. Wow is right, Nardella got his face in there, got his stick in as well. After the swim move, a shot missing wide. That defense is just ferocious right now by Albany, making every look for Halifax, even with an extra man in transition, very difficult.
Great play by Tarafanko to get a tough ground ball and end up being able to get the pass off to preserve possession for Halifax.
Around the pick, shot deflected. Shanks is still trying to find his rhythm in this game. So is Watson, who's had his fair share of looks. With Clark Peterson out tonight, he's in the COVID protocol. Leads to timeout on the floor, under 5 to go in the third. This past Monday, the Halifax Thunderbirds suffered a tremendous loss. Vera Stiers, the mother of owner and GM Kurt Stiers, passed away unexpectedly. Vera was a residential school survivor who recently shared her story through the Every Child Matters movement with the Halifax Thunderbirds and NLL Unites. Vera was a huge supporter and fan of lacrosse. She gave her son Kurt the love and support he needed to leap into the NLL. Vera is survived by her 5 children, 19 grandchildren, 22 great-grandchildren, 3 great-great-grandchildren, and her siblings. Under 5 to go, third quarter. We welcome you back to MVP Arena, home of the Albany FireWolves inaugural season, home game number 3. Albany looking to climb over 500, looking for their 3rd straight win. Since they've acquired Ryan Benesh, Albany could remain undefeated, losing their first 2 games at Toronto, home against Rochester. They have dialed things up, folks. Transition, defense. Dougie Jamieson, the reigning goaltender of the year, has 29 saves. And offensively, Andy, they have got very solid looks. They're just playing in system.
They really are, you know, and one of the priorities that Coach Accursi had was stress the importance of playing within scheme, seeing that they don't rely on one guy. Everybody chips in to some degree. And Albany, honestly, with Callum Crawford now playing for the Riptide, Albany also, I think, has played that way. While a lot of the points go through Andrew Q and Reciteer, you know, the addition of Ryan Benesh and others contributing in transition, and you're seeing a well-balanced scoring attack. And I think at the end of the day, that's the hardest to have to defend.
That was the mystifying element of this FireWolves team, and they're still trying to figure it out as they go. Daryl Gibson has his hands full in his 3rd year as offensive coordinator, moving parts. You've got Tanner Thompson now on the right side, Jacob Brouet coming over from Colorado. This team was built to win defensively, and maybe not in the immediate now. Offensively, they are going to continue to grow. If they get enough out of their offense throughout the course of this season and only build as the year goes on, their offense might get to a point where it can match the intensity and the talent level of its defense. So while it feels like their offense is a step away, their defense can win them games, and that's been the formula the last couple of years.
It's a really good point, you know, and credit Coach Gibson with getting the offense to settle down and getting them connected. You know, if they are a defensive team first and that's their first identity, you know, you need an offense that understands the value of getting longer possessions so that you're not playing defense the entire time. And I think that one complements the other. They certainly have found that balance, and that speaks to the 2-game winning streak and being in control here with 2 minutes left in the third period versus what many would consider probably the second best team coming into this game with a record of 3-0.
Week 9 starting tonight in the NLL, 8 weeks into the season. Albany ranking 3rd in defense at 9.75 goals allowed, and Halifax strikes. It is on the board, Eric Fennell, who is typically a guy who is off ball, creating chances for others. Fennell in the right spot that time to score his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, just a phenomenal inside look. Great handle behind the back, maximizes his angle.
Oh, and
that's a different clip, actually. But Fennell, he makes a cut from the left wing into the middle of the field. Goes behind his back into the top left corner. You know, just an unbelievable sequence and finish.
All right, Fennell with the strike there to make this a 3-goal game. Hold the phone. We've got ourselves a tightly contested ball game. Albany opened the game up 3-0. Q coming out the back door, scoring a transition goal. FireWolves also got a power play goal. Charlie Kitchen scoring his 2nd of his rookie season. Halifax a little pep in its step here. Shanks dashing around the screen, contested look. Jamison rotates with this defense right to stop the short side opportunity. Bushi's in there, sandwiched by a couple of Wolves. They roar at him to get that ball loose. It's Nishimura who comes up with it. Jackson leading the team, and loose balls coming in.
Yeah, this is the goal we were talking about. Fennell sets a down pick for LeBlanc, who comes off, throws it forward, and then Fennell ball cuts. You know, kind of a nation's look, so to speak, and finishes with a really, really well-timed behind-the-back shot, which obviously increases his angle and makes it tough for Dougie to pick it up.
Oh, a shot last second on the timer as the shot clock hits 0. Albany a drawn-out possession as we approach a minute to go in the third. 7-4 FireWolves.
Clearly Halifax has played the second half with a little bit of an uptick in their purpose. BG, you know, it seems like they're more comfortable playing 5-on-5. They're more disciplined in getting to 5-on-5. And they've had a couple of shots fall for them. If they get one more here and can make it 7-5, you know, it really becomes anybody's game with 15 minutes to play.
Watkinson with the hustle in front of the Halifax bench. He puts his arms up like you see in your iPhone keyboard, that emoji where you're just like, what's happening here? So ball goes back to Halifax, and the shot clock is on. There's still 20 seconds to shoot, and I think we're going to get ourselves a timeout. I'm just not sure who called it.
Looks like maybe,
or we get a penalty.
Bench minor, illegal substitution.
Yeah, bench minor, an illegal substitution.
On Halifax.
So now it's Albany ball, and it can hold for the final shot of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a tough penalty right there, especially they had the ball. You know, that giving Albany an opportunity with 23 seconds left here. We'll open up the fourth quarter with the power play. Critical possession too. A major difference between being down 2 and being down 4.
That puts your Albany FireWolves on a price chopper. Market 32 power play.
So after the illegal substitution, Terafenko 5-on-4, Albany on the power play. And time runs out in the third, so 1:37 left in the chance, bleeding into the final quarter. We will make the turn for home. If Albany can strike and double its lead, it creates even more of an uphill climb. for the Halifax Thunderbirds. FireWolves looking to knock them off for the first time this season and win their 3rd straight game. Come back for the finish. Thunderbirds, FireWolves here in the Capital Region. Here is tonight's score summary. FireWolves, Thunderbirds. Albany led 4-1 after the first quarter. They scored the first 3 goals. FireWolves strike for 2 more in the second. Halifax outscoring Albany 3-1 in the third. Terrific goal, a twister goal out of Eric Fennell. Kind of a look what I found goal. And that brought them within 3. And here the FireWolves have the power play. And so far tonight, with the extra man, Albany listed 0 for 3. This is their 4th chance. I'm pretty sure they do have a power play goal in this game.
Yeah, you know,
1 for 2. Yes.
I think we just, you know, the story of the game is Doug Jamieson in the goal with 35 saves, only allowing 4 goals. You know, and Halifax has done a good job, particularly in the second half, of generating high-quality opportunities, not only in transition, but also in 5-on-5s. And time again, Dougie Jamieson's been able to get to those shots. And if he can keep it up, it's going to be a tough 4th quarter for Halifax. But they have more than enough time to get back in this game and to win. But they've got to make sure that they are burying their opportunities.
I'm almost positive Rouet has scored on the power play. They do have the shorthanded goal from Benesh. Wow! Missile!
That's a
Charlie Kitchen. Wow.
Second, he's the one that scored the dive cut early.
Right.
And to come back and stick that shot, you know, on a 45-degree angle from the goal, with 5-hole, really good shot. You got to wonder if that's the scout, you know, but just a really back-breaking goal for Albany right there. You know, Halifax goes to the penalty box for, you know, poor subbing. And sure enough, they go from playing offense to giving up a power play goal. Tough swing.
You want to talk about a big body on offense. Charlie Kitchen is a rookie, folks. He's 23. He's 6'4", 215. Wow. Beast. Coaching staff loves him. They've loved Charlie Kitchen. They couldn't wait to draft him. They did. He got picked up by Panther City in expansion. They still went out and got him back.
Yeah, I really like his lateral quickness too, but he's actually showcasing some great off-ball play as well, and obviously that time he sticks a 6 time and space shot from the right wing.
FireWolves doubling up the Thunderbirds 8-4. That's the separation. And start to the 4th quarter Albany wanted after being outscored 3-1 in that 3rd quarter. Very balanced score sheet tonight for the FireWolves, who entered this game tonight last in scoring. through 4 games, 9 weeks, 8.75 goals for. And tonight they're up to 8. But again, they have been built on defense as Benesh skips one. Missing wide to the left side. Loose ball is corralled. Shot clock does not reset. Hill does a great job rotating back in and reads Benesh on the rebound. Armstrong the other way for Halifax. They have to get rolling quickly. Still, I guess, plenty of time, but they are down 4 goals.
Yeah, you know, they're going to get some transition opportunities. I think if it's not there, continue to play 5-on-5.
FireWolves tonight have had 7 different goal scorers, accounting for their 8. Kitchen is the lone multi-goal scorer. Malcolm, Benesh, Kitchen, Resiteritz, Rouet, Tchaikovsky, and Q.
You know, I really think that's reflective of these guys getting opportunities in different aspects of the game. In 5-on-5 half field, in transition, on the power play. You know, one of the things that Coach Kersey spoke about, and Coach Clark as well, was that both offenses were very well balanced. They didn't run everything through one guy.
Rouet, beautiful move that time. Hill had him one-on-one, and luckily he made a play for the Thunderbirds as Withers tiptoes back the other way for the Thunderbirds. Bomberry taking a huge hit that time, and he is someone that oftentimes doesn't feel it, or he's given that hit to the opposition.
You know, I think Albany, you can see that they are really, you know, feeling the performance of Dougie Jamieson tonight. It seems like they have a lot of trust in him. I think they know that if they're not giving up transition scoring opportunities and they're not fouling, it's going to be tough for Halifax to get back in this game with the way that Doug Jamieson's playing between the pipes.
That kind of night for the Thunderbirds. They just hit a post a moment ago. We're under 12 to go in regulation, 8-4. On the flip, Jamieson. Unreal.
Unreal is right. They've been shooting on the right side of the goal all night long, and you get that opportunity right there. He actually shows it to the right pipe. Dougie leans, and he comes back to the left side, and Dougie gets his arm out to make the stop. Unbelievable.
You got to see it again.
So
it was
far
so
side,
pretty.
And
Shanks.
Dougie gets there. Wow, that's a stop.
You just have to watch, people. Just don't ask questions at this point.
You know, sometimes you play great offense and you just can't score because the goalie makes an incredible save. And when that happens, you got to continue to stay disciplined and play great offense. And you got to hope that you're going to break through at some point, you know. But again, these are the best players in the world, and Doug Jamieson is feeling it tonight.
Another 5-on-5 set piece here. No goal. Foot was in the crease. Bushi threw his arms up thinking, come on, give me a break. It's been that kind of night.
See his feet. I don't know.
Close.
Very
that
close.
angle, we can't see the
Very
tip
close.
of his foot, right?
If it's anything, it's the right foot. Left. I don't know.
Tip of the shoe. We'd have to see
Pretty
the
close.
opposite
Yeah,
angle,
pretty
right?
close. Pretty close. You're going to Dean Blandino to get that angle.
We'll worry about that tomorrow. Championship Sunday.
That's right.
Rocket missing wide. Resiteritz dialing one up as the shot clock dwindled.
It's going in on the far side. Very Minnesota fat fish.
And we're getting a penalty. What do we got here? Campbell's going to the box.
Halifax penalty, 2-minute hold.
Scott Campbell holding. That's not good. Halifax down another man.
Yeah, they.
This is Bushi on the previous possession offensively for the Thunderbirds.
It's close. That's real close. Really close.
Now that time, Bomberry is draped all over him from behind. They were in unison as they galloped in on the crease. Benesh with a rifle. FireWolves scored on the power play. They've now scored twice in this circumstance after a 2-for-3 week against Philly. Rouet knocked down to the floor. Clean hits. Hill comes out. And outlets.
Big stop for Warren Hill right there. That was a real high-quality shot. They get it in the middle of the floor. The goal's the biggest. A double-down pick, and Warren Hill's able to make that stop, bail him out. You know, this next goal right now is really big. You know, 8-5 is still very doable. 9-4, it starts to become a little bit desperate.
Dougie Jamieson, folks, is so locked in. Austin Shanks, at this point, how does it not go upstairs mentally, wondering, how do we beat this guy? Still 1:11 left in the power play for the FireWolves. They can pull ahead here and create some separation. They're up 5-1, 4-1 at the end of the first, and this is a goal that Halifax wonders if we got that one, we'd be even closer. It's 8-4. Fourth quarter. Stick with us.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon? At 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
There's no better feeling than a win, except a BetMGM win. Goodbye. Woo! That one hurt good. You feel that? Yeah! Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Come on.
Get game day ready and shop your favorite teams, jerseys, and merchandise. Head to NLLshop.com to get all of your National Lacrosse League and team gear today. FireWolves fans enjoying this Saturday night, one of 6 games in the NLL. 1 game tomorrow, New York in Buffalo on Long Island. Great to have you joining us here. FireWolves on the power play, looking for their 3rd strike with the extra man tonight, leading 8-4, looking to improve their win streak to 3 games and knock off the undefeated Halifax Thunderbirds.
Well, about 9 minutes left to go here, BG. Halifax is, you know, they're still very, very much in this game. You can score 2 goals very, very quickly. You know, I think they got to continue to stick to what they're doing in half-field offense. They're generating high-quality opportunities. You know, Doug Jamieson has played out of his mind, and, you know, you really don't have any other options.
Banesh whistles a pass, and Hill, they're trying to go 5-0 on him. He dips low and makes the stop. Does not become that scarecrow where he's rising. He's prepared for those low-aimed shots by Albany. Just 11 seconds, and I think Halifax is going to kill this off and stay alive here.
You get the sense that Warren Hill is anticipating these low 5-hole shots. You know, he's had, you know, a number of really good saves on that placement.
So as Campbell's penalty ends, Hill leaves the floor. Delayed penalty against Albany upcoming. So 6-on-5. Jamieson the slide, rebound and a score. It's Boucher.
Big goal.
Terrific follow through by Boucher, sticking with the play. It's now 8-5.
Yeah, it showcases the importance of crashing the net on these outside shots. You know, the goalies did a great job of stopping the first shot, but rebounds are, you know, the best opportunity for an offense to score because everybody is, you know, looking for the ball. Great play, very opportunistic.
Boucher fired up tonight. I mean, he's had to step up in this game. He's the first multi-goal scorer for the Halifax Thunderbirds tonight. Folks, again, if you're just joining us, we're midway through the fourth quarter. Clark Peterson to the COVID protocol a couple of hours before face-off. Kyle Jackson on that left side. Healthy scratch tonight.
There's a red flag down on the field.
We've made so much. We previewed Austin Shanks was our pregame interview with Ashley Miller on the floor tonight. Shanks, rightfully so, big game against Toronto, 5 goals, 3 assists, but one thing Albany has keyed in on defensively, that two-man game that Peterson and Shanks had coming.
To be reviewed. It was thrown outside. We're shown. No.
Okay, so Ian Garrison, our crew chief. The challenge flag from Glenn Clark came out, I guess, and it was too late. Therefore, they will not take a look at this. And Clarkie does not like that.
Now that's drawing a firm line.
To be honest with our audience, I didn't even know the challenge flag was on the floor.
No, but it's a good rule. You know, again, if that was the case, then the right thing is obviously, the rules are there for a reason, right?
Right. Well, FireWolves had a power play chance. Halifax stopped it, then scored. So this one ain't over yet, folks. Midway through the fourth. Hill coming down low to make the stop. Big time play by Hill. Outlets here to Tarasenko. Warren Hill entering week 9, 3rd in the league in save percentage at 81%. 3rd in goals against at 9.43. Dougie Jamieson, 9.78 after what the staff would call a stinker against Rochester. He knows he's more than capable. Nearly goes 5-hole. Jamieson keeps it right by his feet. When in doubt, lean on Dougie, right? 41 saves for the reigning goaltender of the year.
Yeah, I think he's been the story of the game so far. That right. And their defense. You know, I think Warren Hill has played a great second half. He really has. You know, he got off to a tough start. There's no question about it. But he's had some great stops, particularly in the last 4 or 5 possessions. You know, they've really tested him, and he's stepped up and made the save.
And Halifax went down 3-0 since. It's been a 5-5 lacrosse game.
Yeah. There's still plenty of time left, BG.
Boucher had that shot deflected. Transition chance. It's been a bit now in terms of game minutes since an opportunity like this developed. But the clock is on your side here, up 3. Nishimura stops on the brakes.
Really smart decision to pull that out. You know, that would have been a force to give them another opportunity and potential to draw within 2. You know, with 6 minutes left, you got to play smart on offense. You got to get long, full positions, and you know, it gives you an opportunity to play 5-on-5 on defense. You know, you don't want to give them transition. You don't want to give them power play opportunities.
O'Connor just gets rid of that ball, and here's another look at the save by Jamieson to create a breakout for Nishimura. Dougie's seen the ball really well tonight. FireWolves had shoot-around this morning in Troy, New York at their currently up-and-coming practice facility. And Dougie was just locked in there, and he's had a fine weekend in terms of getting himself ready to go. A near rebound chance, getting some help in front that time. John LaFontaine, Greg Downing comes in to add some pressure and pick up the ball as we come up on 5 minutes to go in regulation. I want to remind folks as well, Halifax, while it does have the next 3 scheduled at home with the ongoing restrictions in Nova Scotia, their next 2 games will be played in Hamilton, Ontario. So a home away from home with New York and Philadelphia, those first 2 weeks in February. O'Connor, we haven't called his name much tonight, back off the COVID protocol, missing the Philadelphia game. That's a rocketing bouncer. Rebound though, the shot clock dwindled to 0, so Malcolm doesn't get a chance that time. And after the whistle, we get a media break. Our final one tonight. It's time now for Halifax to make its push if it wants to be back in this game. Down 3 with 4:50 to go. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the National Lacrosse League.
Well, do you think we waited long enough? Well, let's enjoy some great lacrosse here.
Here we go, game on. Team with a seam on the right. Here comes Team looking for his first career goal.
An amazing goal by Nanico.
Flair uncorks and scores!
What a night for the rookie.
Harris, Dawson, shoots,
Are you kidding me?
Travis Cornwall with the first goal in franchise history.
Rolling towards the top. This is Eric Fennell.
Here we go.
Hogarth for the win. Nighthawks get it done. Fennell switches hands. He scores! Eric Fennell.
And he scores! The Philadelphia Wings win it in overtime.
Eight-5, FireWolves, down the stretch we go here in the Capital Region, 4:50 to go. Time now for tonight's Fanatics Turning Point. The lone multi-goal scorer in the game, power play goal, Charlie Kitchen, the big 6'4" frame. You've really been impressed with his development on the fly. We're watching it take place right now, Andy.
Yeah, you've seen him score a couple different ways today. One, he scores off a great dive cut in the first quarter, and then he comes back that time and scores with time and space on the right wing.
Kitchen's power play goal to put them up 8-4. Halifax did score another. Boucher with his second after stopping another Albany power play. So they're hanging around here, but have to act quickly. Their source of offense has been Boucher inside. Fennell and Shanks have finished a couple. Transition has been tough to stop, but Hill has stood on his head since he went down 4-1 after the first. Folks, again, this was a 3-0 game. Albany got a backdoor score out of Andrew Q to start the night. Albany getting what it wanted right away, playing the game it wanted, the formula, the blueprint, all playing out. Halifax since, it's been a 5-5 lacrosse game.
Yeah, you know, I think the difference has been the few goals that Albany has scored in transition, which was certainly a concern coming to this game for Coach Kersey.
Shot clock violation whistled by the official on the goal line. Halifax ball. Dish here to Shanks. BTB attempt. Dougie read his stick. Again, not necessarily where he was on the floor, but read the stick this time. Clock is on the side of the FireWolves, so Watkinson slows the pace and kicks it out to Durston.
Got to speak to Watkinson's toughness coming back with the way that he turned his ankle.
He did not
It didn't look like he was coming back, and sure enough, not only is he coming back, but he was running well.
Dirty off the crossbar. Jordan Durston couldn't cash in. Magnan flips it. Brock's shot is wide. That was a blast from David Brock, making a homecoming after playing at UAlbany in the 2010s. As we've got 3 to go, Halifax down by 3. Shanks steps into one. Kind of went sidearm that time and missed it.
Seems like 80% of the shots they're shooting to Dougie's left side. And he's obviously been able to make the stops in most instances this game.
Oh, it feels like, sure, keep doing that, because I've had success reading that angle and swing throughout the course of the night.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's been able to make those stops.
Dougie up to 43 saves tonight.
Wow.
48 shots faced. Slashing call against the FireWolves. So Halifax, for just the 4th time tonight on the power play.
Needless to say, this is important.
I think you're right.
I'd like to see the tough angled shot like that. I'd like to see a pick, have these guys attack the middle of the field. Right down the near side pipe.
Shanks, his second tonight.
It's far from over, PG. Jake Withers on the draw. Joe Nardella has jumped a couple of times during this game. He usually never jumps. This is an important face-off.
He went right through his armpit. And there, again, that time going short side, and at some point you thought for Shanks it would go down.
Well, you look at where they've shot most of the night, they've shot to the far side. They shot to the right pipe in that instance. That time they show the right pipe. Dougie's anticipating that, it looks like it, and then he brings it back overhand down the near side. It's just another example of deception these guys shoot with in this league that's just unbelievable. You can't fully appreciate it until you see these guys go play outdoors and you see how efficient they are at putting the ball in tight spots.
So Glenn Clark and company, decision time. It looks like they're going to take the full 30 seconds here as opposed to working clock. Benesh in front. Hill can step out, reach, and kick out to Terefenko. 1:40 left. Power play goal for the Thunderbirds. We are at even strength, 5-on-5. Bomberry served the penalty.
They got to play fast, obviously, but they need to be selective.
Jammer to LeBlanc. Shanks was tripped up. Jammer in the corner, getting jammed, if you will. Shanks to the rescue. LaFontaine bodies him out. 1:12 to play.
Really good defensive possession by the FireWolves right there. Minute 10, they really are in control here. Two good long offensive possessions, even if they don't score, and that should be it for them. Certainly Halifax has to step out and press.
Yeah, and you'd think it's Graham Hossack to wreak havoc, the three-time NLL Defensive Player of the Year. Hossack will do this. He'll come off his man and help double team. There he is, 4 in the white.
You know, I don't think pressuring is necessarily his best attribute.
Nearly sneaks one in. Hill comes off the floor, 40 seconds to play. 2-goal lead for Albany. Terefenko.
You need to get a quick shot here, that's for sure.
You got to move here if you're Halifax.
You do.
No sense of urgency. LeBlanc the flip to Jammer, up top to Shanks. Pass was knocked away momentarily.
I like Albany stepping out and pressuring this. It just prevents them from really getting comfortable.
Again, the goal is empty, 18 seconds.
Smart defensive plan right there, pressure.
Shanks to Fennell, gets it back. Fennell rips one, bouncing by the crease. Tight bodies, no goal. Halifax celebrates thinking it's scored, but it's waved off. Now they're going to take a look at this, I think. That was a lot of chaos on the goal. And now Tchaikovsky's getting into it here.
It's brewing.
Aaron Bold is trying to push him aside. Jammer's involved. All right, there's a whole lot going on right now.
Fired up at the end.
There's the captain, Brett Manning. Jammers, man, this is the most energy I think he's displayed tonight. Just getting the camera on him. You know, a one shot of Jammer tonight.
Listen, he's one of the best players in this league's history.
Oh, for sure.
And he's got to be a little bit frustrated not scoring. He's an unbelievably competitive guy, natural leader. It makes sense that, you know, the emotions would be running high.
I mean, this is his second game of the season. Jammer has not scored a goal. So let's look at this again in tight. We're coming to you from the far view. So our location is at a diagonal angle from the other side of the floor. So
right. The question is, you know, does 43's knee hit before the ball crosses the plane?
That's Eric Fennell.
Yeah, it's close. Really close.
See, you know why Jammer's so passionate about this? Because he's probably got the best look of anyone next to Manny and...
Watch Fennell's knee. The question is, does it hit before the ball crosses? Oh yeah, it looks like he's in the crease before the ball crosses the goal line.
Geez, talking about knees being down, I feel like we are watching Championship Sunday tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I do. I do think, though, the goal that they called back in the third quarter,
Bushi.
I think that was a goal. I mean,
Right.
obviously we didn't have the perfect angle, but we had a pretty good angle, and we had two pretty good angles, and it looked like his
After
left
review, the
foot
ruling
was
on the
not
field is
in line.
confirmed no goal. During the stoppage, Albany number 22, a 2-minute minor on sportsmanlike conduct. Play restarts, Halifax ball.
Okay, on sportsmanlike conduct, Nick Tchaikovsky getting a little mouthy with the officials. Jammer making his final case to the officials. I mean, at this stage here, Halifax has to rip it. And that's what Jammer's going to do right here. He's directing traffic. You're almost running a 4 cross play like you see in basketball. Look at this.
T-Bell's not afraid, that's for sure.
Oh, a little whack to the face. I mean, you know how it goes. If you instigate second, you're the one getting in trouble.
Yeah, well, T-Bell is not, he's not afraid to have his teammates back, and he's not afraid to mix it up, that's for sure.
And the FireWolves get the last laugh. Albany has won 3 straight games. Since the acquisition of Ryan Benesh, this team has turned a corner. An 0-2 start, we all wondered, uh-oh. But FireWolves have stuck to their identity. They've stuck to their principles. Defense, Dougie Jamieson leading the way. Massive night for Dougie, 46 saves. And Halifax has now lost a game. They are 3-1. We'll come back and wrap things up from MVP Arena in the Capital Region. Stay here, please.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon? At 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
There's no better feeling than a win, except a BetMGM win. Goodbye. Woo! That one hurt good. You feel that? Yeah! Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Come on.
Albany FireWolves improved to 3-2 overall, 2-2 in the Eastern Conference, and 2-1 at home. Dougie Jamieson, what a night. 46 saves, 6 goals allowed. He turns in another fantastic defensive performance. He is on the floor with our Ashley Miller.
Doug, 46 saves tonight. Did you feel as good as you looked out there? I think Brendan said 23 saves in a row at one point.
Yeah, like you said, after I make the first couple stops, it's you kind of get in a groove, and the defense was doing a good job giving me like kind of bad angle shots that I like to see. So yeah, definitely felt like I was in a groove tonight.
After the 0-2 start, you guys have won 3 in a row now. Is it a matter of just playing together more consistently, confidence? What is it?
I think we found our identity. All our wins have been low scoring, kind of tight defensive battles, and I think that's how we have to play. And I think we're just finding that. We're hitting our stride now, I think.
Coming into next weekend, you guys go back-to-back for the first time this season with Georgia. How do you approach that? Any differently than a single game?
No, not really. Just try to take care of your bodies even more than you already do, right? Hydrating and stuff like that. But no, it's not too different.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thanks.
Guys, back up to you.
And with Dougie's ties to 6 Nations, he should be in for a very tough test facing the Swarm in back-to-back games with Lyle Thompson, Shane Jackson, and the rest of that crew. Our final stats. So Halifax outshoots Albany in this game, which leads to Dougie's season high, 46 saves. Face-off game, Withers went his way. A tough night for Nardella as far as the false draws, but again, Nardella just improving every game, Andy, on the defensive end. And look what this does to the standings here. Halifax still with just the one loss now, up towards the top. Philly gets a big win tonight, come from behind win, down 6-2 at halftime, and the FireWolves right now are a playoff team.
They really are. You know, with games coming up against Georgia, they got a good opportunity to ride the momentum they've created in the last 3 games. If they can continue to do that, it sets up a great showdown with the Bandits on March 5th, I think it is. So again, in a one-goal game league, Albany, 3 straight wins, feeling it at 3-2, and clearly have found their identity all over the floor.
In those 3 straight wins, 5 goals allowed against Sask, 8 allowed by Philadelphia, and tonight 6 against Halifax. Their defense is doing a fantastic job. Once again, our final score tonight: FireWolves 8, Thunderbirds 6. For Andy Towers, my partner up in the booth, Ashley Miller down on the floor, and our entire crew, I'm Brendan Glass-Jean. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on ESPN. Have a great rest of your night. Good night from the Capital Region.